When you think about high school football prospects being wrongly graded, you tend to think about 4- or 5-star guys who just never lived up to the hype. While many of these guys have very interesting stories, there are also a handful of good players who were overlooked and ignored. Some of these players were given 2, 1, or even 0 stars, and turned out to be diamonds in the rough, while completely changing the course of history for their NFL teams. Today, we will be covering some of these crazy underdog stories, so please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe right now. When you think of Ben Roethlisberger, you probably picture a 2-time Super Bowl champion and one of the most durable quarterbacks in NFL history. But back in high school, hardly anyone believed in him. At Findlay High School in Ohio, Roethlisberger was actually held back from playing quarterback until his senior year. Before that, coaches kept him at wide receiver. Yes, receiver. By the time he finally got the chance to throw the ball, it was too late to generate major recruiting buzz. Most big programs passed. Ohio State? Not interested. Michigan? No call. Instead, Ben ended up committing to Miami University in Ohio, a mid-major program in the MAC. That's where he finally got to prove himself. And prove himself he did. In just 3 years, Roethlisberger set school passing records, threw for over 10,000 yards, and led Miami to a 13-1 season in 2003, capped off with a MAC championship and a top 10 national ranking. Not bad for a kid nobody wanted coming out of high school. Khalil Mack is one of the most feared defenders of his generation. But in high school, nobody was scared of him. In fact, Mack was just a 2-star recruit out of Fort Pierce, Florida. His original dream? To play college basketball. A knee injury changed everything, and he switched to football full-time. Big-time programs didn't come calling. Instead, he landed at the University at Buffalo, not exactly a football powerhouse. But Mack quickly made a name for himself, rewriting the school's record books with 75 tackles for loss and 16 forced fumbles, the most in FBS history. By the time the NFL draft rolled around in 2014, Mack had turned himself into a top 5 pick. From overlooked to unstoppable, he became a Defensive Player of the Year and one of the most dominant pass rushers the league has ever seen. Kurt Warner's path to the NFL is one of the most unlikely stories ever. Out of high school in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Warner wasn't a star quarterback. In fact, he had little recruiting interest at all. He ended up at Northern Iowa, where he sat on the bench for years and only started as a senior. That single season wasn't enough to get him drafted, and Warner's NFL dream seemed over. He even stocked shelves at a grocery store while trying to keep football alive. But he refused to quit, finding opportunities in arena football and NFL Europe before finally breaking through with the St. Louis Rams. And once he got his shot, Warner never looked back. He won 2 league MVPs, a Super Bowl, and became the face of the greatest show on turf. From overlooked high school kid to Hall of Famer, Warner's story proves that sometimes the longest road leads to the biggest stage. Bobby Wagner might be a future Hall of Famer, but as a high school recruit, hardly anyone noticed him. Coming out of Colony High School in California, Wagner was just a 2-star prospect. He didn't get offers from the Pac-12 powerhouses, and most big schools passed. The one program that believed in him was Utah State. There, Wagner became a tackling machine, racking up over 400 career tackles and earning all WAC honors 3 times. Despite the production, scouts still doubted him. But the Seattle Seahawks took a chance in the second round of the 2012 draft, and Wagner proved everyone wrong. He became the anchor of the Legion of Boom defense, a Super Bowl champion, and one of the most consistent linebackers in NFL history. From overlooked to irreplaceable, Bobby Wagner's journey is the definition of outworking the doubters.